The Duke of Edinburgh has left hospital after 11 days following his successful hip operation. Prince Philip, 96, left the private King Edward VII hospital at midday on Friday and waved from the passenger seat of a Land Rover Discovery as he was driven past the front entrance of the hospital, having left through another exit. Buckingham Palace said he will continue his recovery at Windsor, adding, His Royal Highness would like to convey his appreciation for the messages of good wishes he has received. On Thursday, he was visited by his daughter, the Princess Royal, who said he was on good form. Anne, whose visit lasted around 50 minutes, is believed to be the first and only royal to visit Philip in the central London hospital. The Queen also gave an update, telling a well-wisher in Windsor, he said he's getting on very well, when asked about Philip's recovery. The Duke will have already begun his rehabilitation moving with the aid of a stick or crutches, and will face weeks of more aftercare as he learns to walk again on his new hip. The Duke of Edinburgh leaving the King Edward VII's hospital in London after recovering from a hip operation. Credit, Victoria Jones, PA. For about a month before the operation the Duke had complained about trouble with the joint, but medical experts have said a few weeks after a hip replacement patients are usually back to their normal lifestyle, free from pain. The Queen Mother underwent 2 successful hip replacement operations in the 1990s, first a planned procedure when aged 95, then later an emergency operation when 97 following a fall. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding is on May 19, and the major family occasion is likely to be the first public appearance by the Queen's consort. Prince Philip sits in the passenger seat of a Land Rover Discovery as he is driven from hospital where he had been for 11 days. Credit, Peter McDermott, London News Pictures Limited. Prince Philip has been admitted to the hospital with various ailments over the years including bladder infections, a blocked coronary artery and for abdominal surgery. He was last admitted last June, after becoming ill with an infection arising from a pre-existing condition. The Duke spent 2 nights at the King Edward VII hospital as a precautionary measure on the advice of a doctor, which meant he missed the state opening of Parliament in Royal Ascot. Prince Charles accompanied the Queen instead of his father to the state opening of Parliament, the 11th time he missed the occasion since 1956. The Duke of Edinburgh retires, a life of public service in pictures. A Buckingham Palace spokesman said, the Duke of Edinburgh was admitted to King Edward VII Hospital in London last night, as a precautionary measure, for treatment of an infection arising from a pre-existing condition. In June 2012, a bladder infection sidelined the then 90-year-old, which curtailed his involvement in the Jubilee weekend. He was said to be disappointed that he would miss the remainder of the celebrations, which culminated with a service of thanksgiving at St. Paul's Cathedral and a carriage procession through the capital. The bladder infection came just months after he was treated for a blocked coronary artery on December 23, 2011. He underwent a successful, invasive procedure of coronary stenting, before being taken to the cardiothoracic unit of Papworth Hospital near Cambridge. He had been suffering chest pains while at Sandringham, in Norfolk, where the royal family had gathered for the Christmas break. Prince Philip in numbers. The Duke of Edinburgh's final official royal public engagement was fittingly to meet Royal Marines who had completed a mammoth 1,664-mile trek. On August 2 last year, in the grounds of Buckingham Palace, Philip celebrated the achievements of servicemen who have taken part in the 1664 Global Challenge, a series of strength and endurance feats raising funds and awareness for the Royal Marines charity. The Queen's consort announced in May he would be retiring from royal engagements after more than 65 years supporting the monarch in her role as head of state and attending events for his own charities and organizations. The Duke of Edinburgh attending the Captain General's Parade as his final individual public engagement, at Buckingham Palace in London. Credit, YUIMOC, PA. In the forecourt of Buckingham Palace, Philip, in his role as Captain General of the Royal Marines, attended a parade to mark the finale of the 1664 Global Challenge. The Duke's association with the Royal Marines dates back 64 years to June 2, 1953, when he was appointed Captain General in succession to the late King George VI. Prince Philip life story timeline. Philip was praised at the time for his public service, with Prime Minister Theresa May leading the tribute, saying he had given the Queen steadfast support, while Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn said the Duke's clear sense of public duty had inspired people for more than 60 years. Despite his age, Philip's decision, which was fully supported by the Queen and was not medically related, came as a surprise as he still appeared to relish meeting people and carrying out his public role. Prince Philip lifts his hat at his final public appearance, having announced his retirement. Credit, Hannah McKay, Reuters. Buckingham Palace stressed at the time, although the Duke's diary of engagements will come to an end on Wednesday, he might decide to attend certain events, alongside the Queen, from time to time. A statement said the Queen's public schedule would continue as normal, but other members of the royal family would step up in support of the monarch in her role as head of state.